We are far from done with our matches here in the Blizzard Arena on this lovely sunny Sunday. Halfway through the day, some huge matches still to come. This one coming up is going to be quite the interesting story between two teams. Dallas Fuel, for example, who had a disappointing start to this stage. And the Washington Justice will see them for the first time this stage, and they ended stage 2 on a high.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that, like, the Justice are on the rise just yet. We'll have to see how they go here against the Dallas Fuel, but I know they did look better once they got Sleepy in the lineup. They weren't able to really get a lot of practice with him. He comes in late in stage 2. Now you've had the whole All-Star break, the practice, get ready. Dallas clinging on to that number 6 spot. Barely.
I mean,
look, I mean, how good the Spark have been. The Dragons and the Dynasty are looking good. I mean, that is not a good spot to be in.
You do not want to catch Bay slipping this time of year, that's for sure. Justice, obviously, in their match today. Huntons tied as Hunters.
Horrible.
That's a Chengdu sandwich. Titans in the middle of that Spark and New York to close it out. That's just savage.
Like, you need to win the 3 games, the Justice, the Hunters, both times, because the Titans, I mean, with the way they're playing, I mean, you don't expect them to lose anytime soon. The Spark have been like one of the hotter teams, you know, at the end of stage 2, now coming into stage 3. And NYXL, I mean, this is not a good look for the Dallas Fuel, especially after losing the Gladiators so convincingly earlier this week.
Yeah, they got romped by the Gladiators, and those two teams began that match on an equal win-loss ratio, so there was definitely the expectation that we'd have a much closer game. Both of those teams, of course, were still vying to stay in that top 6. Might be a little bit tougher, but the Washington Justice, man, this is our first time seeing them in stage 3. They have taken, let's be honest, they've taken a long time to really start to hit their stride, and they'd better hope this is it, because they're running out of time.
They're taking the scenic route to success, right? A little bit taking the detour, but no, look, I mean, that they're improving the roster, right? You know, you bring in Arc, that improves it a little bit. You bring in Sleepy now. Now you think you have some of the pieces. I really like Corey as a player. Otto, although, you know, he's on the winless Dragons last year, I think definitely a better player talent-wise than the teams that he's been on record-wise has represented. So I think the Justice can turn this around.
I mean, he was on a team that lost 40 games in a row, and people were still saying that he was a good player. So that definitely says a lot. We need to see more from the Washington Justice than just a reverse sweep against a mid-table team, and here's their chance to do a bit better. So let's welcome to the stage the Washington Justice. Support line's looking pretty fly, I'll be honest with you. Of course, you've got Ark and Sleepy there. Corey's starting to show up. This is their 3rd kit look, by the way. I quite like it. Nice little touch there.
The black with the gray. A little red on the shoulders.
Teams are going for that black on black look a fair bit.
It's fresh.
Funky fresh.
I do like the support core for this team. I think that's their strength. I think you look at Ark, right, coming over from the NYXL. A lot of veteran leadership, right? You know, good experience, very talented player as well. I think you bring in Sleepy in the flex support role. We see him do nice things on Zen and Ana. For me, the biggest question mark is still this tank line. I don't really know how you kind of grade the tank line of Giannis and Sansam just yet. I think we just need to see a little bit more.
And their opponents who, after a very disappointing loss earlier in the week, need to shoulder those pickaxes and get off to work. Let's welcome the Dallas Fuel. They got fans here, they got fans there, they got fans everywhere. But what they need more than those right now, Matt, is the W's.
Yeah, I mean, you can have all the fans in the world, man. You ain't getting wins. You're still going to be struggling. No changes with the Dallas Fuel lineup. You got Note, Zachary, AKM, OG, Unco, and Closer starting today. Since they picked up Note, this has been the lineup that they've ran throughout the course of all of their matches. So I think this is a lineup, probably the strongest one that they can put out here. You know, maybe we'll see Trill eventually. You know, as
he's here now.
Yeah, I think I saw him on
somewhere.
Stage. Just kind of, I think I saw him on stage, just like looking over, seeing how everything gets set up there. But maybe we'll see him as time goes on. Very good main tank player. You can incorporate him into the lineup too.
We saw Note obviously play a bit more than just D.Va last time around. We saw the Hanzo from him on Paris. Unfortunately, the Paris from Dallas Fuel looked absolutely disgraceful. It was very bad. They definitely came out of the break a little bit rusty. They should have higher expectations for themselves. This is your head-to-head. Two very good-looking heads, no less. But these two players now are going to be called on to be, you know, filling those Zarya duties. But also, if these teams do want to try some fancy stuff, the DPS roles.
I think Corey probably has the harder job than AKM. I think from the standpoint that I think AKM plays with a little bit of a better, you know, main tank, off tank combination with OG and Note in the lineup. So I think definitely AKM has the advantage in that regard. I think Corey really needs to have himself a really good game today to give the Justice a chance.
Well, the Gladiators were very good at using the fact that OG likes to overextend, so keep that one in mind. Here's your map set presented by Toyota, where we go to Oasis first. AKM needs to be protecting OG. He was exploited very heavily with some overextensions.
I don't think the Justice as aggressive as the Gladiators, so I don't know if
You don't think Giannis
the,
is an aggressive main tank?
I don't, look, I think
He's crazy, dude.
I think he can be aggressive, but I don't think you really have like a, Shaz, Decay, Void, those type of aggressive players around him that are going to punish as hard. I think that's really where you saw OG struggle the other day. So
when he gets focused down, he does not look great. City Center's where we begin this one. And team compositions are pretty straightforward here.
Yep.
Gonna be the 3-3 for both.
So you're gonna have the mirror matchup for both teams. So I'm excited to see the Dallas Fuel can bounce back. Also, how the Justice have potentially improved over the break. Obviously, only only 2 wins for the Justice right now, but they've had some close games. You almost feel they're better than like a 2-win team in some regards. So you see both teams.
But they are a 2-win team.
Yeah, they are a 2-win team. They are juggling around the pole right now. This point goes contested for a very long time. A lot of open space, especially in this type of meta. You can have a lot of just these big bodies at the point for a while. OG gets pressured and backed up right away.
Giannis is low though. He's very low. OG wanted to try and push forward. Looks like he might have actually copped a Discord or was forced to take a huge step back. Fire strike there eaten up, and Washington, they are not looking good health-wise. They need to be careful, and they're going to get run over.
But is that the difference, like I was talking about, between the Justice and like the Gladiators the other day? Like if that was the Gladiators, do you think Void and Decay would have let OG just back up and live there? I think they probably would have. They would have pushed the pace. They would have got right on him.
That's exactly what they did.
Yes, that time though, the Justice allow OG to get healed back up. Then Giannis gets low, and then the Dallas Fuel recognize that they go on the offense.
Well, I guess the upshot here is that while OG was being aggressive, Giannis was even less health than him.
Yeah.
The 2 Reinhardts are definitely going to be trading aggressively in general. Earth Shatter, Transcendence. Going to be a Graviton Surge as well for Dallas Fuel. They got everything they need, really. It was a fairly long first engagement, so both teams will be getting close to those key ultimates momentarily, but AKM wastes no time in getting his one set down. Giannis tries to go for a bit of a diversionary air shatter, but that did not yield any results.
And I do feel like that is a little bit of a play that's kind of been baited at this point. You see the Graviton Surge now used by the Justice is not going to get anything with that.
Why have they done that?
You do have Transcendence burned as well, as now Sleepy does have the edge in terms of building towards another Transcendence, but I think the shattering while you're in grab, like the counter shattering, I think too many Reinhardts were doing that early on. I think people have caught on. Like, you're not really seeing Reinhardts like have an idea the other Reinhardt has a shatter, just kind of like walk up to the grab anymore.
It feels worthwhile if you can find something with that shatter, right? It's kind of hard against a combo with Brig, Zaya, and Reinhardt to get clean, like whole team shatters. If it can keep you alive in a grab, it seems like it's worth it. Oh, speaking of which, there's a shatter. Giannis is
what
down.
were you saying?
Well, look. Washington would love to have had a grab right about now. That would have been really important in that last fight, because now AKM has his back. Their use of it around here just before completely mystifies me.
I do think also the start here for the Dallas Fuel, very strong. I think this will actually be a tougher match for the Justice, because Dallas, after losing to the Gladiators, want to come out and prove a point. They do not want to have another loss here or a close game.
They always do, man. After a tough loss, they tend to bounce back pretty hard. So there's a Transcendence at least in play here for Sleepy, and the Washington Justice were able to stave off the Graviton Surge. Dallas giving a lot of room, and Sleepy's caught. It was closer around the backside. In fact, it looked like he'd caught out of position, booped him away from his team.
Yeah, well, Sleepy actually used the Transcendence to get all the way across the point. It'll be a grab that comes down here from Corey, Transcendence from Unco, it'll be a shatter from OG. This should clean up the point. But Sleepy actually used his Transcendence to save his teammates, then get all the way across the point to save Sansam, who was contesting the point. And then when Sleepy comes out of Transcendence, Sansam just leaves him and goes back with the rest of the team. Sleepy was trying like, I just came all the way here to help you. You can't even like stay near me for a bit. Like, there's no way Sleepy's making it back to the other side of the point. He can't just teleport. At that point, they just kind of leave him hanging out to dry there. It's not really all Sleepy's fault, to be honest.
15 deaths and 0 kills for the Washington Justice so far. It has not been a good start at all, and this is a team, the Dallas Fuel, that have already shown significant signs of weakness. Now, whether they've shored those up since the other day or not, Washington, it's very hard to see what their game plan is here, Matt. Nothing has really revealed itself. Looks like they're just trying to get decent ult usage, but even that, the grab was used when they had 4 players alive, so that is questionable in itself.
Sometimes you just need somebody to make a play, right? I mean, you can play this mirror and whatnot, but eventually, like, somebody needs to make something happen at the positive end, right? Somebody needs to create some kind of offense for the team. Like
Closer did that just in that last fight, getting rid of Sleepy. Get aggressive, have some confidence. Ardo is extremely low. He will be able to get away alive though, and OG now is just going to move up a bit. Having Sansan there on the left is very annoying because OG is currently discorded, so even the sort of insignificant damage at range from D.Va becomes more than that when you're discorded. But Sansan hung around a little bit too long, will get removed from his mech, but that'll be all she wrote really, with a note out of the picture. Yes, they'll try and contest it a little bit longer. They're going to try and juggle the point for OG to come back. That's clever. Here's the grab as well. This might work out for the Dallas Fuel. They took the point to start with, and they're looking to hold on to it. Giannis, nice charge on Zachary, though. That's going to take him straight out of the fight. Here's that grab, though. We're waiting for AKM. The previous one was Corey's. Down the pick goes Giannis, but OG's not in a position to get aggressive. Yes, he has positional advantage, but
this is where the Dallas Fuel, they had taken the point and then lost 2 players, and they're still able to hold it. They use the rally closer there as well to juggle the point. Look at this, they're going to have Sound Barrier here to potentially use. But they really want to double down as Noda launches self-destruct up top.
Nothing from that one there, but the Justice are going to be pulling their hair out right now. They should have had this point. They had a dominant fight, but the Dallas Fuel just kept the tiptoe on the point.
A little bit of a miscommunication there, I think, towards the end, though, for the Dallas Fuel. As OG goes for a shatter, closer boots everybody out of the way of potential shatters, so didn't get anything with that. So now you're going to have, probably another grab for this fight. I mean, you're getting close to this is the final fight. With how long these fights have gone.
Ironically, the only 2 Korean-speaking players on the roster right now had that flub. But you're right, there's not a lot of time, is there? And Gory, ooh, okay, he's alive for now. Had he died there would have been no grabs to try and end this one, and Ardo just...
What do you do now?
I mean, Ardo was pretty far forward. Closer is doing a great job of carving off individuals here. Sleepy first in that last round, and now Ardo, when it counts, this guy is able to give his team a 6v5.
They're going to have to get a touch here. Pretty much they're going to be walking into this grab.
The Closer lets them touch. He sits at the back of the point. He knows that the Justice are going to attempt something here, but what are they going to do with this, Matt? Graviton Surge?
I don't know. I mean, now it's going to be the grab that comes down for the Dallas Fuel. They'll be self-destruct thrown over by Sansan. Rally in here for the Justice as well, keeping everybody topped up as you lose OG. He's getting very close to another shatter. There may be the Justice's opening.
The Dallas Fuel, there's no real need for them to juggle the point now. They can actually just step off. They're at 99%, so stalling it out only puts them at a risk of being staggered and won't give them any extra percent.
They could have gotten that earlier, though. Like, they get a decent grab from Corey, and they get 3 inside of it, and then Giannis just misses the pin. Like, not able to pin somebody, right? And the grab was pretty good. It was, like, close to the wall. It was, like, close enough to where you would have knocked them out of the AoE of Transcendence. You just missed that little combo of a play, which... with how these games are decided with the triple tank, triple support meta, it's just those little kind of flubs like that determine, whether you're getting up to 50% right now or sitting at 30.
A lot of damage early as Dallas tried to run onto the point. OG had to drop his shield. Oh, that could have been big just in time. Giannis gets his shield up. Corey is at less than half health right now and needs to be careful. OG healthy though. And now Dallas should be starting to apply pressure. They need to lean into a weakened Justice roster. And Corey's grab, it's gone! That's so his AKMs! Just don't bother using Q, guys. It just doesn't matter at this point. Zachary is down. Dallas, plenty of healing for him on the point. You can't eat a Transcendence, thankfully. This is quite exquisite.
Hey, remember I said somebody needed to make a play, right? There's Sansa eating that Graviton Surge. Note eats the other one that comes down from Corey on the other end, but would have been even a bigger deal if AKM's grab would have landed, right? He'd had no ultimate abilities in terms of support ults online at that time. For the Justice, you'd have been in big trouble.
Nicely done. Both D.Vas on either side of the map. Really digging deep. Giannis giving plenty of room here. He waits for the bubble. Jumps forward, not too far. Notice that he maybe could have put a bit more pressure on Unko. Fire strike that wasn't eaten, and look at what it does to a team. 3 players down a half. Justice is sitting comfortably on the point here. The Dallas Fuel, they might have let this slip. They need to go now. They have to press this advantage, and they got Giannis. That is...
Oh, and then the grab from Corey.
It's a Graviton search. Looked more ornamental than anything else.
And then, like, you could have potentially tried to shatter if you're Giannis when they actually use the sound barrier and they're running straight at you. Things are just falling apart for the Justice here towards the end.
Now it's going to be Sleepy coming out of the Transcendence. Giannis appears just in time, of course, to get a solo shatter. And the Dallas Fuel take away Oasis. Pretty comfortable in the end. They let things slip somewhat there over map number 1, and I cannot wait to be visited by Trill, the smasher of good ults, my man from down under. We'll see if Dallas even need him, though. We'll be back with map number 2 in just a moment.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Into the iris.
Огонь по готовности! Огонь по готовности!
Pass into the iris. Pass into the iris.
The Dallas Fuel, a team that many expected to top the tables in the inaugural season of the Overwatch League. Now they fight to stay within that middle of the pack.
Look, I mean, they just need to continue to beat the teams that they're supposed to beat. They're your teams in the top 8. They split those games there. They've already got a nice little bit of a cushion, in that 6th spot where you could potentially, lock in one of those playoff spots right away. Even if they were to fall down to that, though, I still think that they're, leaps and bounds of the teams we have in the 11-12 spot. Well, Sky Industries coming up next. The Justice could have taken that 2nd point there on Oasis. It was just like a horrible, sequence of events. I mean, Giannis gets booped into the hole, and he dies.
Or he just throws his grab.
Yeah, then they throw the grab on the stairs. I mean,
pin the grab on the wall.
It's tough though. Like, when you're the Justice, like, you've had close games with other teams, and then like you play a team like the Dallas Fuel that close, and then just like 2 things go like horrendously wrong, and you lose it. Like, that is tough. Like,
Well, yeah, it's tough, but our best teams in situations like that, a sum total of 0 things go horrendously wrong.
Yeah,
And that's why they
true.
win. So, many more reps required for the Washington Justice, one of our newer teams here in Season 2. So, we have a 3-3 on both sides here. No Hanzo from Note yet. I was kind of hoping. I mean, this is Volsky, not Paris. A little bit of a different map setup, so. We can assess these 2 teams on their coordination and how they trade in the neutral as Dallas start to circle around the Justice.
it's interesting. Some teams have opted to try, have not had a great, traditional goats throughout the season thus far. Have opted to go towards Sombra. Both of these teams feel strongly enough in their traditional, 3-tank-3 support to go towards this in this matchup. Not really mess around with the Sombra. I think Dallas Fuel kind of gave up on Sombra when they make the trade RCK for Note. You had such a good Sombra. It'll be OG on the point here first.
It looks like Dallas have
Get a
everything
cut.
they want.
Yep, they
They've
have a
got to
high
the
ground
point,
now,
they have a
yeah.
high ground Zarya. Basically, this can't go wrong for them now. And you know what? The best part is, the Washington Justice opened the door, invited them in and said, hey, take all my stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the Justice, they have the high ground on that center, you know, little hut, and they give it up right away. They give AKM the high ground, and then in that situation, like, you can't really play close. Like, I mean, your options are to just kind of speed through them and, like, try and get AKM to drop, or just play at a distance where AKM can't really do anything, and they has to come across the point. Because if you would have played, like, you know, the side of the point closer towards the health pack, AKM can't do any damage there. He has to come down and support his team from the high ground. Then you get a free fight. I mean, that scenario just
It seemed
didn't really
like
play right.
it seemed like Washington were sort of trying to regain the high ground on top of that bunker, but it was just Sansum boosting up there, trying to like knock the Lucio and Zarya off. I mean, yeah, nothing long
But
lasting.
the way Closer's been like booping and displacing people, though, you know he's going to knock you right back in.
Okay, OG just got himself a Zarya barrier and a repair pack, so a lot just got used on him because he was discorded. That means that Dallas want to really get the fight over with now. They wanted to try and make something happen pretty quickly. Closer might go up to Sansum on the high ground here, and he's going to get desuited. He has to self-destruct on the point now to get that mech back, and AKM gets caught out. That's because OG got pulled forward into the grab. AKM, prior to that, was actually quite safe, hiding behind the shield, but not after that. Giannis is down though, and OG gets a sound barrier. This is where Dallas can actually start to, again, try and lean into the Justice a little more, but with the replying sound barrier on the other side here, Washington are able to hold.
Yeah, and they're just trying to get AKM back. So, oh, Closer goes back. They'll escort AKM back into the fight. As now you know that they have no support ultimate. Sleepy getting very close to another Transcendence. So nice job farming that up. But you will have Rally here for Dallas, and then you'll have the Graviton Surge that'll come down too.
All right, Brains, trust. Washington Justice now seeing how they're going to work their way out of this one. So, let's go. Sorry, a Earth Shatter here for Giannis. OG doesn't have his right now, but Giannis might have a chance to use it. Sleepy's at least able to get in there with a Transcendence, though. Closer trying to vie for the high ground control against Arc. And there's the grab. Now, there's not a lot to respond to that one. Unko doesn't quite have his Transcendence yet. Now he does. And they can use it aggressively instead of defensively inside the grab because the Justice weren't able to find any picks on Dallas whilst that grab was active. Dallas now, look at the control at this point, Matt. They got 6 players on there, and Giannis,
The second tick.
Oh, he might not be able to touch. He's going to get there. It has to be a big shadow now. And guess what? AKM had a barrier, and the shield was being held up by OG. They do lose Zachary, but Otto's in a bit of danger here. Corey went low. It looks like, though, the Justice, with the help of that rally, are going to be able to solidify their position somewhat. What do you do about this grab here? OG can't swing into it. He's too low. He gets given a bubble, at least from AKM, but it's just not enough.
Yeah, they thought they were going to be able to turn that. I mean, the grab used there by AKM, and then, like you mentioned, OG just too weak. No support for him to get in there and
Feels like a
swing on.
miscommunication. You think OG would be like, don't grab, I can't swing into that.
Yeah,
right
I think,
now.
I mean, they're so close. I mean, you see, you know, 95.6% on the point. Yeah, you probably think, oh, grab, get a kill or two, and then we can swing it back, but just not a lot of follow-up. Note with the self-destruct here. Could clear the point out with self-destruct, go in, then get a good advantage to use like Sound Barrier, Transcendence, stay alive, so. We'll see how the Dallas Fuel decide to use these ultimates. Corey with a Graviton Surge. Where is he playing? Because he's playing towards the front of the point here.
He's just on the left side.
Trying to get like an off angle. He's got to be careful of no with this Matrix though. Not now.
But he's forced away. He actually, well, he went for the grab anyways. He backed up. Timing's good, but Unko had another Transcendence. Oh, Sleepy has one as well. Not to be outdone, of course. Self-destruct doesn't find anything. Giannis gets pinned. He's dangerous now. It's going to be hard for him to back away. He can't. Good boot. That was set up by Closer there. We saw there was a chance that Giannis might have been able to get away if he just backed up a little bit, but after getting pinned, knocked around, he's down. And again, that always sort of spells doom for the Justice. OG, that's a salty solo shatter on Corey. He definitely felt that. He was able to pick himself back up, but it doesn't matter. He thought he was on the point. You weren't, Corey. About 3 minutes or so for the Dallas Fuel in the time bank there. So a quick point A take meant that they could take their time a little bit more on B. On the other side of the coin, the Justice, it's their time to attack. Let's see if their bite matches their bark.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Time to raise my APM. Get through this.
iris.
Nerf this. Suiting up.
Very tense on stage here. So tense, in fact, that the Dallas Fuel had time to pose for fan photos during that commercial break. They are... they're taking it easy today.
Look, I think for the Justice, like the defense is not great. There are 3 minutes in the bank for the Dallas Fuel, but you know you're not gonna hold very long on defense when half of your deaths as a team come from just your main tank. I thought Corey had a pretty good first half. You know, 4 limbs, 2 final blows, only 1 death. He had 65 average energy.
So it's not like he's not bubbling Giannis. He's bubbling Giannis a lot. That's why he has more charge.
And Sleepy has put down more healing and damage than Unco thus far. They're getting a Transcendence every 1 minute and 9 seconds. Over 1,000 more Transcendence. Healing, I think you're getting a good game out of those.
Let's
two
talk about
players.
this comp though, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be running the triple DPS. Where you have Otto on the Pharah, Corey on the Widow, and then Sansan playing the Sombra, solo tank. When you want a solo tank, it's really like, you know, your Wrecking Ball that comes into play. And then you play Sleepy on the Ana, and then Arc on the Mercy. You need the Mercy just really for the Pharah here.
Keep an eye on those health bars, especially the tank health bars. They're much harder to fill back up. OG's currently hacked there, so Sansum is getting down to business in that back line. Corey's Widow, we've seen it before actually. Seen some fantastic moments from him, especially on assault maps. Temple of Anubis is one where we saw him go bonkers. Note's going to run out of defense matrix soon, and yeah, he gets desuited. It's a matter of time now. The War of Attrition and the Washington Justice are the architects of victory here.
And this is why teams used to come out and run like a lot of like Winston-based compositions on maps like this, because Winston, you know, instead of the Reinhardt and the composition that the Dallas Fuel are running, much better against these damage dealers. You're able to just jump on top of the Ana, make plays. The Justice will be able to take point A. You also have a lot of time in the bank here. You have an EMP on the table. You're going to have Valkyrie, Rocket Barrage. You have a lot of good ultimates coming online. They may be able to snowball this.
Watch Otto play, by the way. Very twitchy. I swear he sees at like 500 hertz as opposed to the 60.
And you see Dallas Fuel, they make the change. They have OG go over to Winston. Now AKM will be playing Sombra. So try and get a hack on the Wrecking Ball. That's really what the Sombra's for.
Yeah. Getting a hack on Otto as well wouldn't hurt. Bring him down to earth. Literally. Zachary gets caught though again. Shot after shot. Note's able to find his way through the line and get rid of Corey. Sansum is not going anywhere. Oh, okay. It's a great escape. Not. He does get taken down, but in the meantime, Closer had fallen asleep. So the Justice are moving to the point now, and it's a nano barrage from Otto.
Yeah, it's the only way you live through using Baraka Barrage.
Hey, he also got a few kills, man. Don't forget. He got some kills. Dallas Fuel.
Justice are rolling.
Oh, man. Dallas, yeah. Look, I mean, this composition looks good. They've been practicing it, Matt, and it shows. Dallas Fuel will try and stall it out for a little bit longer, but hey. That's it.
OG actually tried to get back on and touch the point, but Giannis booms him back. Really good time there for the Justice.
Hey, strap yourselves in. This one might be quite the longer one here. Both teams with plenty of time in the bank. We'll see you for our replay through in just a moment. Extra innings, baby. Wasn't really expecting actually to see such a different composition from the Justice, but they brought a triple DPS comp. Pharah, Sombra was in there, the Widow. Looked really good.
Yeah, so this is what I was talking about, Giannis. Able to get around the corner here.
Oh,
yep,
nice.
Knock him back. Really nice. So that helps the Justice take point B. 5 minutes and 30 seconds to the Justice. Okay, so they're going to sit on the same high ground again. Do not drop down. If you do drop down, drop all the way back by your Mega. When they go to the high ground, they will have to cross.
Force them to come to the point. Yeah.
Yes.
Dallas didn't even have the touch point to win that last fight.
Force them to come to the point without high ground.
Time to
All right, here we go.
APM.
They're going to
Pleasantries
go for the high
exchanged.
ground.
All right, great defense matrix use. Perfect from Note.
Keep the high ground if you're the Justice. Here we go.
Now, what does Closer do? Do they send Closer in to try and... Okay, yeah.
Sleepy's got a nice angle here.
The
Mega.
It's obviously the Justice know what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Okay, well, they drop now off the high ground.
And just play this side of the hut. You see the side of the hut that they're on now?
Yep,
Just
they
play
can
this.
touch. They just touch that corner.
Yep.
Yeah, I like what they're doing here. Ardo's...
Like AKM has to drop now, yeah.
Ardo is kind of far out here. You went to the far right-hand side. You can see him there on your screen. He might be looking to set up a shadow play. He's backed off a little bit now. So, all right, so Dallas have the high ground, which means that Note can do this a little bit.
Yeah, but you just get Arc up there. Like Arc went up, booped like 2 players down before. You just need Arc to just play that area.
I wonder what target Dallas is calling right now. Probably, well, Ardo after that one. Yeah, see?
Otto went out to save Giannis and just gets picked.
Yeah, well, no, Giannis was front and center. I guess, yeah, Ardo must have moved out towards the side, but...
He went to go bash Node, and then Node just flew right past.
Okay, not convinced with that one. Now, Giannis, very low shield, but the Transcendence. Giannis doesn't need to keep his shield up anymore. Charging the OG, there's going to be a shield Transcendence for him, though. And a Graviton Surge now, and well... And Transcendence, so the Justice tried to use aggressively. That's what happens if you don't secure kills while you have that extra healing. You get punished.
It's just when you have that break get picked off first. There's just no repair pack to get used. And here come the Dallas Fuel. I mean, they're going to try and snowball this. Already on point B.
There's the grab. Oh, I like that one. Look at the placement of that, right in the corner there. Well, it's suffice to say that Justice cannot follow up on their Graviton Surge because of that bomb. Very nicely done. Shatter, Corey's knocked down, but the sound barrier is going to keep him up. OG, though, does have that same luxury provided to him by Closer. Shatter, Giannis doesn't find anything now. He gets Unco, actually. That might be it. Yes! That was enough. Sunsub just alley-oops the self-destruct onto the stunned Omnic. And it'll be a Justice fight.
Yeah, that was nice. I could actually see from the overhead map, like OG trying to find a way to shield Unco from that. Just didn't seem possible as you lose your Zenyatta. It's a lot of damage added.
Yeah, I guess Unco is between him and the self-destruct, right? What do you do?
As the Sleepy really had a good map. I mean, another Transcendence here for Sleepy, getting it every 1 minute and 5 seconds.
I can't fault his play. I just have not seen anything good from Sleepy that's not looked good. It's been very solid. Discord Orb on OG right now, which is why Dallas are taking their time. That will now have expired, as they were out of line of sight of the enemy's Zenyatta for a period of time. Here they go. See? I mean, OG's getting the bubbles. Oh, Corey, low. Transcendence, yet another one there from Sleepy. That's just brilliant. Unco only just got his, but it might be quite timely in and of itself, because guess what? AKM has a Graviton Surge should they need it. Looks like he may not. It might just be for the stragglers, because Dallas needs to win here and now. It's got to be this fight. They do take note of Arc on the high ground, but can't do too much to stop him until he himself steps up to try and contest. Sunsum desuited, and there's a wrecking ball coming. That's right, Giannis just rolls through onto the point here. That could have actually knocked Dallas all off the point there. That was close. And the point here looking like it's going to be captured pretty nicely. The Dallas Fuel get it done in overtime. So essentially, they get a chance here. The Justice have a huge time bank, so Dallas do need to prevent them from finishing the map.
And I think the Dallas Fuel will probably come out with a Winston on defense at the start here. You do not want to have one of those damage dealer heavy compositions come out, really catch you off guard.
Yep. And that is the oldest trick in the book when it comes to the GOATS meta. People started playing 3 triple DPS to punish the fact that Reinhardt's really immobile and his whole team needs to stay with him. That's why they play like the AoE damage from Pharah, because you know they're all going to be standing around their Reinhardt, and then of course a Widow in case anyone is out of the way.
I mean, you play like Pharah, Hanzo, Sombra, like, you always want Sombra obviously to take abilities away. Anytime you can take
the Justice
usefulness away.
The Justice just use that and go, hey, we're going to play right on attack now.
Well, yeah, right. So now I think when you see the Dallas Fuel come out, they'll have
So you're
Winston,
exactly right.
Yeah, the Winston, and then instead of the Zenyatta, you'll actually have Unco on Ana. So you'll be able to, with a lot of the splash damage that comes down, you'll be able to build up the nano boost quite quickly.
Also, Sleeping Sombra is pretty good.
Yeah. And we'll see what the Justice decided to do. Justice probably come out with the damage healers like they did the last time. I just wonder if they decide to switch off of this if they see the Winston as.
Corey's going to have a very tough time with this Winston. That is definitely the biggest threat to him.
Well, usually teams see this and they go back and switch right away.
They're
So
doing
that's
it.
exactly
They're
what they're
doing
doing. They're going back to the spawn. They'll play Reinhardt into this. You like the Reinhardt base composition versus Winston?
Yeah, but it's not terrible for Dallas, right? Winston drops off the top of the bunker, does some damage, gets a bubble, does some more damage, then
You
just
control
jump
high
back
ground,
out.
right? Yeah.
Yep. They want to try and split up the Justice to the fuel, but yes, this is Reinhardt into Winston is generally going to favor the Reinhardt team. I mean, execution's a huge part of it. A lot of early damage. Oh, Sansa got slept.
And if you're the Dallas Fuel, although they set a tremendous time, you know, you took both points. So just get this down to, like, even if you give up point A with a minute to go, like, save some ultimates, just win the 2 fights on point B, and then just call it a map.
See, now Dallas can do something that Washington couldn't. They can actually challenge this platform that the Justice are on now.
Oh.
Okay, Giannis, this is where they can get split off here. Giannis just like, oh, I'm going forward. What about you guys? Yeah, see, you cannot do that against the Winston comp there. This composition is designed to split you up, and you've voluntarily done that. Oh, Sleepy, sorry. You're going to get the sore end of the stick there.
And I love how, like...
Oh, no!
I love like the position where we are, where we can see the stage. And as soon as Ark gets caught out, I just like see him on his like player camera, just like a sigh, like just like put his head down. Like he had no chance to survive there. I mean, you have the Winston and the Diva that jump up on you, and I believe he's hit with a biotic grenade there, so he can't even like receive any healing whatsoever. So
I understand what they're trying to do, but what's to stop the Justice from just dropping as a team to the point of playing around their right? Play inside the bunker.
stacking on the Rhine, right? Oh, huge biotic grenade
That is
there from Mongo.
5-man bio? That's gross.
They'll use Nano here on OG to build up another Primal Rage as well.
I mean, Dallas could have followed up on that bio. They could have gotten aggressive, but they're going to wait for a chance to use the Nano boost there and Sleepy. A second biotic grenade, and now the kill on that Zenyatta. Ardo is an easy pick up here for OG, and he's far from done.
Another Primal Rage again. So
In one fight. I mean, they are using the Nano boost to feed the Primal Rage. Corey just goes for an ice bath.
And I mean, now you're already like, we're down to 3 minutes here. You know, you have this next push that comes in. Positive for the Justice is you're gonna have Grav. They don't have like a Transcendence. You're getting close to a sound barrier. But what you probably see is like if the Grav comes down from the Justice, Note just uses his self-destruct, and then maybe even AKM uses his Grav to lock them in place.
Primal Rage is really painful for Reinhardt to deal with. Winston
6
defense
ultimates
comps,
here for Justice.
yeah, Winston can't really like get a lot out of Primal against the Reinhardt. Now, no around the corner, yeah, he's gonna get de-suited, but okay, getting closer there is big. Now, if they'd just gotten Note, it wouldn't have been that big a deal.
Yeah.
But now they're all right. They have to use Transcendence here. Unco is almost got away with absolute murder there. He eventually is run down, and OG gets caught inside the bunker. So it works out, and we've seen teams do this, Matt. They play the grab play just to get a pick.
And I was shocked that they decided to just grab Note, as you know, he does have a self-destruct there, just right around the corner. But that's where you miss having the Zenyatta. You wouldn't have had to really worry about that. But Unco did a nice job using on him.
It's a small.
If you're OG, would you have used Primal Rage there just to switch over to the Winston? Or I mean, I guess you're so good with OG on the Primal Rage, like with that ultimate ability, like does a really nice job of juggling players. So stay on it for this fight.
You have Primal. The entire left side of this point is a pit, so I guess that kind of helps. You know, you can really punish Giannis as well, kind of make him feel pretty useless. So early sound barrier. I don't really know what precipitated this, but it's going to come out anyway, and OG got caught. Earthshatter Sansan picked him up, and Dallas, well, I mean, look, they've handed this one straight over to the Washington Justice. They look like they're in a decent position. The Justice clearly telegraphed the sound barrier play, and Dallas still went and got rolled. They will have a chance to stall out here, and OG has to use his Primal. He needs to stay alive. He gets a bubble, and he'll have a chance to displace. And look how deadly this is against the Ryan team. Everyone's getting knocked around. OG is hit with the blast, but it doesn't do a lot of damage. AKM still will be taken down by Corey, and sound barrier here for the Dallas Fuel. The timing's not bad, but they just need a little bit more staying power, and they just don't have it. Very, very nice look from the Justice, and they get the map done, and they have plenty of time left.
Yeah, and AKM dies at 99% to that Graviton Surge. Could have made a difference there towards the end, as The Justice do complete the map, 1:23 on the clock for them to see if they can take Valskaya. We'll be back with their attack right after this.
Worst case scenario right now for the Washington Justice, man, is a draw. Both teams have gotten 4 checkpoints. The Justice can take the map out right here with just one tick on point A, but not terrible, really.
Well, it makes it also difficult for the Dallas Fuel. Like, what do? Do you come out with the Winston? Do you come out with Reinhardt? They come out with Winston here on defense. I think, the damage dealers of the Washington Justice, they're playing that damage dealer heavy comp, just really thrown something at the Dallas Fuel that they may not have expected here. So, Note can see that they're running it coming off the rip. So, they do make some adjustments here. Yeah, you're going to switch off of all of this.
Yeah, you go back. You see they got Winston base. They've also got an Ano, not his Zenyatta, so you feel all right about, bringing Reinhardt in there.
So you have a minute.
1 minute. Can't really rely on any ultimates here, and if you get them, they're going to be in the thick of the fighting where you can't really guarantee anything. All right, early damage there for OG. He needs Primal Rage. If he can get Primal Rage early, Dallas can hold here.
I think they tried to fake them out there instead of going into the... Oh no, he's able to get away. Instead of going that side room, they actually just pressure OG straight away.
The Biter Grenade also going to slow the Justice down because not only did it heal OG up, but it also had 2 players on the Justice unable to heal. It was Ardo and Arc. They're forced off the point now. That one tick is starting to get a little bit further away, and there's a nano boost coming up for Runco. That's going to go to OG. It's going to feed a Primal Rage, and it's going to get very difficult for the Justice. They'll need a good grab here from Corey, who, to his credit, is way ahead of AKM and Ultimate Charge. There it is, Nano. OG now needs to try and probably deal with a Zarya ideally, but he can't really select his target. His whole job is to keep the enemy off the point.
He's going to have Primal Rage and knock them back from the point, though. They have to get a touch here, the Justice.
OG stunned up briefly into the back line now. There's the grab, and what can OG do? He needs to keep his team alive, and Zachary gets charged into the wall by Yes! Now up on the point, Samberry here for the Justice, and now 1 tick getting close, but don't! He's found Giannis! And OG can chase down. Ardo trying to get away, but he's besieged on all sides. Now he's pushed back into the bunker and taken down. AKM's grab gone in. We'll not mention that. We're saving that one for next map? I guess not. Sunsum forced now down, and the Dallas Fuel looks like they've done it. They've secured themselves a shot at the draw here. Corey has to step forward on the Tracer to try and trigger overtime, and that's all that he could do. And that's a great result for Dallas. They only need 1 more map win in the series to take it.
Yeah, and Unco there actually slept Giannis when the self-destruct from Note comes down. It's a big play from Unco on the Ana. So he had really nice biotic grenades throughout that one, and then the nano boost onto OG was a big difference to get those Primal Rages.
It's gonna hurt the Justice. That was so close. A draw there means that it's not great for them. We'll be back after the half.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. And by State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right.
Time to raid my APM. Get through this.
obviously no surprise that the Dallas Fuel are up 1-0 over Washington at the half. What's up, everybody? Malik back with Brand and Sideshow. Dudes, 1-0. Washington playing this a lot closer than we thought that they were going to, or at least than I thought they were going to.
Yeah, not closer than Bren thought they were going to, because Bren thought they were going to come out with a win. And honestly, it's a classic Washington Justice game where they don't look impressive, and yet still their opponents make a ton of mistakes that leads it to either a map going their way or a draw. Maybe they can claw something back in the second, but this really has been Dallas. I mean, why did you predict Washington Justice?
All right,
So my thought process was this morning, I was in a dream state, but Dallas play around here, Justice play around here, right? So this is what Justice's game plan is. Can you stand here, please, for me? Thank you. So Justice just kind of latch onto their opponents to drag them to the ground, and then that's what they do. They just kind of drag them down to the level and beat them to death with their poor ult economy.
Yes.
And then they force the enemy team to make mistakes, as we're about to see in the clips we're about to see.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and start off with Oasis. This was very one-sided, in my opinion. We didn't really see the Washington Justice we saw in that final map in this map right here.
Honestly, it was just destruction. And the Washington Justice in general have like this inability to make plays without going for something crazy. And the Dallas Fuel were just kind of reading it every time. And OG got the better end of the main tank matchup.
Yeah.
The tank line is the most criticized thing from the Justice team.
Now, this map here, this section right here, was the bane of Janus's existence, because he just kept falling into the hole no matter what. He's just trying to figure out how to
he was
work
just he was just booped into the hole repeatedly.
It's behind you.
It ruined
it's behind you. There you go.
There you go. You got it. Sorry, I pulled it out as I was dragging him to the floor.
Yeah, I know. This is what happens. Mistakes are made when the other team gets dragged to the
All
floor.
right, so let's go ahead and jump over to Volskaya. Washington Justice. It looked a little more solid there. Dallas Fuel made a lot of mistakes, and the Justice, they really couldn't capitalize and get the map win.
I'll tell you what, the Washington Justice actually had some decent offenses. Like, for example, when they were running more DPS, they looked like pretty competent. They practiced this roster, this composition, the one that you see on your screen now, it was looking pretty good for them. They completely rolled Dallas, and Dallas didn't have an answer. But when it gets to triple tank, triple support, it's just a little painful to watch the Justice, because they don't do anything. OG had like 20-second primals every time. And then Echo's got the nano boost.
It is painful to watch as well. You're playing directly into what Dallas like to play into. You opt into that. And I mean, yes, they did manage to get a draw in the end, but I feel like it should have been a win for the Justice. And once again, they fell a little bit short.
What happened in that last sequence? Because it looked like the Washington Justice had it.
Oh, they could have, but then Janus forgot where self-destructs landed, and then he accidentally died because he had his shield in the wrong way.
And OG's got another primal.
And OG's got another primal because they're feeding away the ult charge. You know, it's...
I'd say it takes almost like a millennia for the Washington Justice to rotate around the map. And it's their biggest issue, I think, is that they're not decisive enough. But for some reason, even though we think of Janus as being like quite an aggressive main tank, that's the aggression that comes out with his Earth Shadows and with his pins. He goes for like crazy pins across the map. But the team as a whole is not aggressive. They're very indecisive. They don't know what to do in certain scenarios. So you see them like move from one room, and then they're like, what should we do next? Should we move to that room? And then they toddle over to the other room.
In their game plan, it's like, right, they've got set places where they need to move about on the map. But once they get there, they've never been told what to do.
Yeah,
so they're just kind of like, right, what do we do now?
Yeah, and that kind of speed of making decisions is what they need to fix to be able to move up to the next level. And that's what we were hoping they'd have fixed during the break from stage 2 to stage 3.
So a lot of positional indecisiveness and mistakes and just slowness in general is what you're saying.
Yes, but for some reason, whenever they play like that, their opponents tend to drop to similar levels or at least make it similar mistakes.
As you saw from the physical comedy.
They're controlling the tempo. It's like any other sport, right? All right.
Yeah. So Dallas have to be careful that they don't make those mistakes in the second half.
Okay, well, we'll see if Dallas can close this thing off. They're one map away from winning it, but the Justice seem to be competing in this one. We'll find out what they can do after the break.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
Go. You're powered up. Get in there. Огонь по готовности.
Well, the Dallas Fuel have managed to get through the first half of this series with at least a map to their name. We had a draw on Volskaya, where they managed to grind down the Justice, who had about a 5-minute time bank going into extra innings.
It was like more than 5 minutes, like 5 minutes, 30 seconds
That's
or so.
definitely more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, 30 seconds more than 5 minutes. If you read the clock, you would know.
That's true.
But I know that the Justice, they looked good and they were running the damage dealers. Once they got forced off of that, it didn't really look that great. They weren't really able to make anything work.
So that was the answer. Dallas Fuel switched to like that Winston-based
but
defense that's more mobile, harassing Widow.
Where in this series you have another opportunity to do that? Like I don't think you're coming out running Wrecking Ball on Eichenwald.
This will be goats.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be 3-3. Reinhardt. Where I think in the mirror, as you saw in Oasis, and you saw at times on Volskaya, the Dallas Fuel have the edge.
And this is this map in particular is definitely one, especially that second stage. A little bit hard to get cute with a lot of your compositions. Widely accepted that there's only right now at least one real way to play this map, and that is.
I mean, from point A, where you see you take the payload there, this is all the way through towards point B. But with the big castle by point B, with so much high ground, you can't really play like damage dealers or like Winston-based offensive comps because. You can't just like, what, you're going to leave the cart, you're going to jump up top, try and win a fight, then go back down, move the cart a little bit, leave like your Zenyatta alone. Like, if you leave your Zenyatta alone on the cart, guess what happens? They send their D.Va down with an orb. Zenyatta gets deleted, and then the other team, they have so much sustain still on top of the castle, they live through all the damage put down. So, not really an option outside of this.
Washington are like a very defensive team who with a very aggressive lane tank. You know what I mean? Giannis always seems to be like deep in enemy territory, and
it feels like every time Giannis wants to go, everybody else thinks they shouldn't go, and then Giannis wants to pull back, that's when everybody's ready to go. Like, it just seems like a little bit disjointed.
Yeah, I mean, Giannis obviously came from a team that's historically quite defensive. The NYXL, that was where he was the secondary main tank.
He's off to the side trying to get a health pack right now. Like, does he know like they have a break?
Why is he here?
No, he went off to the left to try and get a health pack there with Arc, and he made it. He got the health pack, but at that situation, you're better off falling back to where like your Brigitte is with Otto, as you split the team there in that scenario, and then because Arc goes with you because you need a speed boost to get back, it leaves no opportunity to disengage for everybody else. So what do the Dallas Fuel do? Okay, let Giannis and Arc just kind of hang out over there. They push everybody else, take them out.
But you see, all Dallas are doing is just putting pressure on the Justice. They're just seeing what they can get away with. You saw that early on from AKM. He spots Sunsum on his own. He's like, oh, well, I'm just going to laser you down. And I guess I'll charge you against the wall. And that Transcendence now looks horrendous as opposed to actually potentially being quite good. In all fairness, though, Sleepy was using the Transcendence into a self-destruct play. And there was no sign of any grab from AKM. He used trans anyway, so yeah, it's not good. It's not good enough.
It's just a bit unlucky. As now you have 5 ultimates here for the Dallas Fuel. The cart still rolling. No, not really. As you'll have AKM push up to the door here with OG. You'll be able to get like a whether it's an Earth Shatter through the choke, or I think you probably use the grab first, then come up with a Shatter. Be able to throw it right here.
Right in the corner. Can they get through this shielding though? There's no way to get around that. So, I mean, yeah, AKM holds the whole Justice in place. Do they know that AKM's behind them?
Yeah, they've got so much car progress.
Yeah, Shatter comes in. Sunsum got hit by that one. D-suited, going for the self-destruct now. Charge from Giannis!
That's a good charge.
Yeah, the aggression pays off really well. Okay, the Fuel have used 2 defensive ultimates now in this fight.
AKM's really charged up. He's going to get close to another grab here. And you see the percentages just climbing right now.
Yeah, but OG, they couldn't do enough to take attention away from OG here. By the looks of things, Closer is just doing Closer things right now. But he's not ready to focus. AKM is not going to... Oh, he actually managed to get away with all his charge. There is at least that. He backed up down the bridge, but I don't know, man. We saw Transcendence. We also saw Sound Barrier in that fight. Pretty average from Dallas. Just as we were, you know, harassing the Justice for doing the same thing.
Yeah, and that note gets really low. He actually goes all the way back, like all the way back to the spawn to let Ungo get all of this charge, healing him back up. So Ungo builds about, 10 to 15% on the ult charge from that coming into the next fight. They grab Giannis right away. It'll be a self-destruct over the top. Soundbar Transcendence used at the same time here for the Justice.
Yeah, OG probably would have liked to Shatter set up, but he'll save it for later. Looked good there, but there was a running in play. The Justice using all of their support ultimates as well, but they still lost Arc. All King's forces and all King's men could not keep their Lucio up. And now losing Sleepy and Ardo. Well, Dallas, good target focus. They've just gone from one support to another. And there it is. They'll get that second checkpoint. This is a messy game.
Well, I mean, that is where you would have liked to have, whether it be Sound Barrier or Transcendence. You see both of them used here. So Shatter comes down right underneath the cart. All the Sound Barrier effectiveness had worn off. You're lucky you had a little bit of a sustain with the rally there.
It's interesting. Giannis was actually standing quite a long way back from the grab, and he was still swinging. You know, he's still swinging. Nothing to hit, and that just left him completely open for OG to Shatter here. OG would have wanted to Shatter to set up the bomb combo, I think, but he was forced to hold onto it because he himself got grabbed, and it ended up actually being the better option for them. Okay, quick, we'll get a stun there on OG. He's forced to back away. Where's the bomb? Oh, well, you can't really save Unco from that one. He was back around the L-shaped corner. OG couldn't protect him. Wishful thinking on that Shatter. The Justice kept themselves shielded up this time as they pushed up.
That's a few times, sometimes been able to come up with some clutch kills with those self-destructs.
That was on the Chandelier, I believe.
Yeah, the one on Volskaya, he was able to get Unco as well, so that allows him to hold on long enough, keep Giannis alive, also allow Corey to build up towards a Graviton Surge, so big play there from Sunsum as maybe we see Closer go in with if you use one of these support ults, whether, Unco will get Transcendence a little bit later, but if you use like Sound Barrier at the beginning, maybe that forces out Rally or Transcendence. It'll be Rally to open things up here for the Justice. Sound Barrier once the grab comes down.
Giannis has to be careful. He got given a repair pack and he's still low on health. He is backing it right up. Self-destruct over the top. Now this is interesting. It also goes on the Chandelier, which is great for a light show, but normally you want to be using that when your opponent's getting aggressive on you. So they don't get anything with it except they create some space. Grab into Transcendence, as you would expect now. Unco going to do the same thing. Shatter, no connection there for OG once again, looking for a big knockdown and doesn't find it. Giannis, his shield is low, he's definitely dead there. And again, the Dallas Fuel, they just apply pressure to what they deem to be the weakest part of the Justice. And, well, once again, it was Giannis.
Yeah, and I feel like this is a few times now we've seen him fall in some of these, crucial deciding fights with Earth Shatter available. I think with how Earth Shatter is right now, just end up using it. Like, whether you get one or two on the opposite side of a shield, whatnot on the outer edge of it, you're better off using the Shatter than just kind of holding it till the respawn is. I think OG's done a nice job with that. We'll see if the Justice can bounce back on attack right after this quick commercial break.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
The Justice and the Fuel running themselves so ragged, they're reverting back to those primal instincts. You know, they just see a target and they just run at it. Giannis is like, oh, there's a part of the map where the rest of my team isn't. I'm going to go there. Oh, and well, Dallas have been able to punish it more than once now.
Yeah, I mean, Giannis uses like 2 Earth Shatters compared to OG's 4. And I think it's just because Giannis just holding on to them for so long. Like, he's got 1 ultimate stun with, 2 of his Shatters. You know, OG with the 4 is 6 stuns. You're only getting 1 kill off those 6 stuns, but still, yeah.
Well, we saw a bunch just go straight into shields.
Yeah,
but you talked about in the first map,
like,
just
you
trying
get
to
it
make
so
the play,
quick,
right?
You get it so quick. Like, just go to the other side of the shield, like maybe, step to the little bit of the left or whatnot, and knock them down, like 1 or 2, but so you see OG, see 1,700 more healing than Giannis' Reinhardt last round. Wow. And took 200% less damage.
200 less damage, yeah.
200.
There you go. I mean, Dallas are used to this though. Dallas are used to opponents of theirs focusing OG. I've spoken to them multiple times. They're like, yeah, that's when AKM just gets sick, like tons of grabs because they try and chase down OG. OG, generally speaking, he's done a good job of
big fire strike from OG.
Yeah, and a lot of charge for him, 20%, 25. Okay, yeah, he's gonna be good. Don't worry. The defense matrix battle. Sun Summon Note. Who could be more of a pacifist? OG's low though. Another fire strike would not be good. Giannis is trying to get up close here. It would be much harder to shut down a fire strike at that kind of range. They still hurt up close. AKM. Oh, he's so charged! Corey! Oh. Yeah, well. he was playing up towards that right-hand side, and you could see AKM starting to move forward. You knew that he had an enemy within elimination range, and he just followed up. And that charge, he farmed because the Justice have been trying to get onto OG.
Yeah, and I think the difference in terms of like damage taken, right? I think comes from the fact that Giannis has 6 deaths with OG, only 1 thus far.
Yeah.
Throughout Egenwald, where
yeah, look at the difference in damage done by those 2 players. By the way, OG gets double Giannis's damage.
Yeah.
Playing more aggressive, less deaths. Team is peeling for him, supporting him a little bit better. So you probably expect this Graviton Surge into Transcendence now. The Dallas Fuel, they'll accept that trade. It's fine. They're going to have to do the same in a moment. Corey, though, is only 61% on that Gravid. I mean, yeah, there's a good chance that Closer has that sound barrier before that comes in, and they have everything they need to stave off a grab play. Look how close they're holding the Justice. Look how much more damage is going into that shield of Giannis. He can barely keep him up. And OG has a Discord orb on him right now. You see that's why he's playing back. That's now timed out.
Yep, they back up after the rally wears off, so now you'll play from the same position they played the last time, over by the point. So we'll see. Maybe, OG uses a shatter over here by the cart like he did, to get point B. Is be rally now that opens things up here for the Justice, trying to put some pressure on back.
Closer has had a pretty slow ult charge here. For the most time, he hasn't had to do any healing. Oh, there's been no need for it. So that's the grab play. Gets absolutely nothing. Note does go down. Okay, so Sansom able to pick something up there. Unco has to be very careful. He's used Transcendence and he was low. Looks like the Justice are going to break through again. And honestly, the Fuel, by rights, should have had all the tools to stop them.
Yeah, I mean, once you lose, so when you lose Note, you still think you can fight it, so to speak, but once you lose Unco, you lose some of that extra damage, healing as well. You decide to give it up. You don't want to use your grab, your Earth Shatter, or Sound Barrier. Would not be surprised to see the Dallas Fuel play close, get really aggressive over by the door here.
I thought it was good pace by the Justice, Matt. Yeah. They approach point A, and they're doing what a lot of teams are getting a lot of success from, is pushing the defenders back inside the hunting lodge behind point A. Good aggression from the Justice, and the coordination was just right. Now they want to keep moving. AKM's charge up though, again, grab straight away. Yeah, he knows he can get a lot with this one now. Self-destruct right now, OG. Ooh, okay, it's all right. Zachary was there. There's a bubble for AKM. Sound barrier now. What do you do with this if you're Dallas? You must get something out of it here, or else the payload's going to keep moving now. Zachary goes for a rally. Dallas is still kind of unsure.
Yeah, I mean, you rally, you're going to get the Transcendence here out of the rally to use this as well.
Just in time, Matt, as well. But Zachary charged by Giannis. That's the play you need to make. Giannis goes down, so it's the trade in the end. And the Transcendence, or Unco just got that online a little bit later, and that would have been a 1-5 for the Justice. But now, they lost Giannis. He went for the play, Matt. I kind of jinxed it, because in doing so, he had to give his life up, and that's not worth it. You don't want to trade Reinhardt for free.
No, and then they've allowed AKM to build up towards another Graviton Surge, still holding on to that charge. Average energy of 80 right now on Egenwald. That is huge.
Artist in trouble. Deep trouble. Yeah, he's down. Zachary able to pick him up. You can't shield that one.
And that was during his rally as well.
Oh. Yeah, so they've not only they lost the rally, the extra armor, of course, but also Ardo's ability to stay around, and yet they've got Uncoin closer. What on earth did I just watch?
I mean, look, Sleepy's had a very good series. Right now, we talked about how fast he's been getting his ultimates, in the previous maps. So far here on Iconball, only 2 deaths. Pretty good, obviously, from your flex support. Getting your Transcendence every 56 seconds to every 1:12.
Yeah, he's looking real good.
For Unco, so doing a really nice job in that really important flex support battle. They're just losing in a lot of other spots.
Giannis almost got knocked off the edge there, but he's going to quickly converge with the rest of his team inside that grab. Unco again, down to Sunsum. Ark can probably skate back up onto the bridge here, and the Justice in the last couple of moments have looked very good in these last few fights.
You see the Justice in, like, they have moments where they're able to take it to, like, top teams and have close games and whatnot, and then, like, they just fall apart, like, at certain times. Like, it's really just kind of like night and day with this team. Like, you just can never get a read on them. Like, it's so weird, because on their defense, they did not look good at times. I mean, 2 minutes and 20 seconds are a really good time to have in the bank for the Dallas Fuel. I mean, right now, the Justice doing a nice job pushing the payload themselves.
Oh, there it is. Ark gets picked off. He can't get away. The Justice tried to disengage. Perhaps they disengaged too fast. I have to say, Sunsum and Sleepy have been really good. Yeah. Really, really good. Sunsum is guaranteeing his team a kill every Diva Bomb just on virtue of its placement, and the Dallas Fuel are definitely going to push them back and punish them here.
Yeah, I mean, Sunsum's, blocked a ton of damage, put down 16% of the overall team damage. 3 self-destruct kills. And him and Sleepy have looked really strong in this match. I think if you get that type of production from everywhere else, I think you're in a really good spot for this team.
Graviton Surge for both Zayas. Transcendences for both Zenyatas on the horizon. Going to be a rally first from Ardo. OG. Going to be a grab here. So Sunsum gets desuited. See if they get more than that. Ardo actually went down as well, but the Washington Justice still want to commit. That's interesting and maybe ill-considered. Sleepy's going to get lasered down. Sunsum won't escape. And there's only 1:33 seconds left on the clock for the Justice. If they fail to finish the map, they cannot win this series.
It's minute 27. This is one of the harder chokes to get through. An 81% average energy for a map would break the record if he maintains it. I mean, that is unreal. I mean, they do not care whatsoever. They are just firing into his bubbles.
That's right.
Does not matter.
Giannis is like, oh, OG looks shinier with this bubble. That means I get more points if I kill him, right? No, but they are trying to get rid of OG. He's definitely being focused down. Soundberry here for the Justice. That was a joke, by the way, Giannis fans. It's all good. Giannis done all! Great combo. Yeah, he gets brought down by that one. OG with that Earth Shatter. Zachary gets in there with the shield bash. Well set up by the Brig. Dallas Fuel push out once more.
Another grab here for AKM. They're fortunate that Sleepy's been able to farm these Transcendences this quick, or else he'd have...
Well, I don't know how he does it, to be honest, when his team are losing as many fights as they are.
Yeah, right? And well, I mean, he's getting out with his life a decent amount. It's, him and Ark, the least amount of deaths.
I mean, Ark you expect to have the least death.
Yeah.
The Sleepy's... Yeah. Also, 23% of his team's damage.
43% of the healing as well.
He's silver damage right now. Guys, I've got a silver medal. AKM's got to grab here, and he could put it on the corner of the masonry on the right here, and it would cause a lot of problems. Oh, Sunsum was above. Oh, come on! He checked for Sunsum, and still the grab gets eaten up. The Justice now, they see a glint of hope, and they're going to run breakneck speed at it. But no, may have shot it down. It's a 3-player self-destruct. Sunsum realizes that all the teammates that looked so starry-eyed just a moment ago are seeing stars instead. And the Dallas Fuel, with a win on this map, that will claim the series. There is not a thing that Justice can do about it. No, big boy with big bombs.
And Sunsum with another grab beat as well. I mean, him and Sleepy have been so good today for the Justice. I mean, he needed to come out with that eat just to give them a chance. He does it. But no, with a big 3K with the Diva Bomb, seals the map for the Dallas Fuel.
Well, we'll be back in just a moment. There's more Overwatch to be played for this series.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
My APM. Allah till mig!
Огонь по готовности! Огонь по готовности! Огонь по готовности!
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
This one.
What a good intro.
Thanks, man. No problem, man. Do you want to do it next time?
You can take it.
Shut up. Dallas, you're looking pretty good though. 2-0 is their lead with a draw in the middle. Oh, you didn't expect that, did you?
Oh, no.
Why, huh? That's it. It's just Sunday, mate.
Yeah.
Let's see how this went down, though. Obviously, those last moments on Eichenwald, it looked like there'd be a chance that the Justice would actually do some damage
Then
here.
there wasn't a chance. It's note. I mean, this is just.
Oh my.
He's just behind them and throws the bomb.
That's
up.
what happened
I
to
mean, there wasn't anything super technical there.
So that's what happened to the dinosaurs. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we get to see Havana, the final map. It'll be interesting to see the Justice played this one for the first time here.
I mean,
really defender focused this map.
yeah, absolutely. And it's so wide as well. We see like the defenders push up quite aggressively early on in many cases. And we see a lot of fighting. It's just a brawl pretty much from start to finish, Matt. Even if the sort of the landscape of the map changes.
Yeah, it's a very, like, you can play so many different things on the defensive end. You can play many different play styles on the defensive end. The Dallas Fuel. Not won this map just yet, only played it once. So I think as new maps get put in, I think it's like very, especially with like this meta, it's like so different. Like, look at how close they're playing. Like, how many other maps do you see this? Like maybe Dorado, you play this close. Like Gibraltar,
You
first
only play
corner.
this close on
but,
Dorado
like,
if you're playing dive, like you're playing against Diva, right? It's nasty. And well, Justice.
Hey, props to the Justice for feeling that confident to play that close, though.
Well, look, they're going to get themselves another fight here.
Yeah, no, it's the right play. I mean,
you do, even if you lose there, you give yourself an opportunity to get some ultimate charge. You know that, you know, especially when it comes to that second fight, if you can get your Transcendences online, you can even get your charge up enough to get those grabs working.
losing that first fight actually changes nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're better off losing that first fight and coming back and taking the second fight if you're the Justice. So, like, playing smart there, close there is the smart play. Like, you have more ultimate charge here. You're not just in some, like, infinite long poke war here around the corner. Like, you have an opportunity to make a play here if you're the Justice.
That's interesting. The Justice want to go aggressive with, they just walk straight into the Hammer of OG, and then Justice, he gets charged up. Discord was applied just before he got impacted against the pole. So Giannis blown up there, and oh dear. Now, AKM is encroaching on Graviton Surge territory, and Sleepy does not have a Transcendence.
Yeah, and you're not close to your sound barrier just yet. As you know, Sleepy need to use that Transcendence to try and save Giannis as they were trying to make a push. They had AKM pretty weak, And I think with how much damage AKM did on the last map, as you saw, from that lower third, broke the average energy record. He's at 75 energy here. And
Shoot
you're
desire,
still
guys.
done. I mean, look, if you have the opportunity to kill him, you gotta take it with you're the Justice. And I think Sleepy saw that he was weak, tried to use the Transcendence to will his team forward, didn't work.
Well, Justice, at least it was last stage, they actually had the highest amount of damage done to elimination ratio.
Yeah.
So it sort of showed that they had trouble with focus fire or picking targets off properly. Maybe that's still an issue. I have to check the numbers. But right now, the Washington Justice, there's not a lot to be pleased about. They've been shunted out of this second phase of the map. The payload is, look, with how far they've got to come back to spawn in, it's unlikely that they can really have a meaningful contest on this high ground. Maybe they hang around for the fight, but Sound Barrier is going to be there for closer. Unco Transcendence is right up there too. And they actually opt to go the low ground. All right. Slow and steady. They do at least have the rally to buffer them in. OG took a bit of damage there as he dropped his shield in order to drop the hammer. Now it's going to be a Transcendence. He was knocked up into the air. I like the idea from Giannis, and OG was actually stunned by that one. No, going to go in though. Everyone knocked to the ground, and yeah, Giannis couldn't get his shield up quickly enough to save himself. Another self-destruct kill from the Canadian killer. Sunsum to be desuited there as well, and unfortunately the Justice have only gotten themselves one kill so far in this round, and that came a fair bit earlier on.
Yeah, but they're not incredible. They're behind on damage done, but like you mentioned, they're able to put damage down, get players weak. It's just finishing those players off is where they struggle. Or they're just putting damage down in so many different areas that nobody's really focusing anything. And I think when you put down that much damage, you're not able to finish anything off. It's like the aggression.
It's coordination.
Are you being baited into these certain types of plays, or?
Yeah, or are you just unable to get everyone to look at the same target or work around things like, hey, our Ryan's Discorder, we can't go aggressive right now, we can't give him a chance to heal up. Ado gets caught inside that grab on with Giannis, or Sleepy opts to hang out inside the Surge as he's going to give the healing away, and Giannis again, he's just swinging! There was no one standing near him. Giannis was trying to intimidate people perhaps with the swinging that hammer around, but unfortunately, that just left him open, and OG getting a shatter like that, 3-player shatter, not easy to do against these compositions, and really kind of egregious to allow your opponents to do so.
And if they were able to complete the map, this is like one of the fastest times you've had to see an on-event at this far. This is a very defensive-favored map. It's very difficult to finish this map, because you see the high ground that you're sitting up on now here if you're the Dallas Fuel, is they take the opposite high ground here from the Washington Justice.
They can't do it. Well, they can't. They won't
close over the move
the payload. It's moved all the way around now inside this choke, but Dallas aren't standing in the choke. They have high ground. They're attackers. This is a defenders-focused map, but Dallas did their due diligence early and got into this position. And now walk inside and grab. Unco's going to go for the Transcendence here, though, the self-destruct, the defensive self-destruct. Forces the Justice back. Washington don't have much to work with now, but Dallas have used a lot of their defensive ultimates. This grab, though, that one is going to hurt. Sleepy at least had the Transcendence. Bomb over the top. They couldn't keep Dallas alive. Ado also going down, and Sunsum will be desuited here, and it's all gone wrong for the Washington Justice now. Almost 3 minutes left on the clock for the Dallas Fuel, and they'll be done here on Havana. That is very, very fast, and that stands them in very good stead on the last map of a series that they'd already won.
Yeah, the kills to death definitely obviously favors the Dallas Fuel here. Only one death for the Dallas Fuel. During that, it was closer.
How many
24 for the Justice. It was just a really tough go. I thought their first point defense was the right play. Point B, they never really get a great shot because AKM has that grab. They have nothing to use to combat it. And there towards the end, what really happens is OG hits a huge shatter, right? They use the shatter effectively. They push up, they take the high ground on one side, and then they just use Note to push the cart all the way through the choke, where at that point, the Justice, they're forced to drop down, play cart, then you give the other team high ground. There's nothing you can do from there. Really smart play from the Dallas Fuel during that.
So that means Closer has the lowest kill to death ratio on the Fuel right now with 11. The rest of them have, I don't know, infinity. One death on the entire team. And it was Closer as well, oddly enough. He's kind of, first, he's not the first target you're going for. Secondly, he's normally not hanging around within arm's reach.
Attackers incoming.
So now we'll see the Dallas Fuel.
You've got to be feeling, if you've not killed OG once this map, you're like, come on guys, please kill OG, please.
So, we don't see Havana finished really at all. Like, it's a really defensive favored map.
Seems like
So
they
to
keep
finish
getting
it
harder.
with 3 minutes almost in the time bank is we may not see that again.
Yeah.
Like that, that
It
may
cannot
be
be
the
understated.
that may be the fastest time we see on this map all stage, all year. So really fast pace there set by the Dallas Fuel. See if the Justice can match here.
It'll be the fuel hold on the corner. Oh, Zachary just took a huge hit. It'll be fine though. Again, at the end of the day, it's more healing for Unco. It just says, yep, I'll discord you happily. Sansam is trying to get a bird's eye view of the situation, but he probably knows what he's going to be walking into against these guys 9 times out of 10. Trying to deny the high ground away from Note, and a little bit slow on the uptake there. Corey traded for OG. Note loses his mech, so all in all, very good start for Washington.
Yeah, Sleepy puts down a ton of damage here at the beginning. See, already at 80% towards Transcendence.
Sleepy's doing a ton of damage. He's got the highest damage on his team right now by a good margin.
Him and Sansam have had a very good series. I think if there's anything to take from this for Justice fans, is that I know Sansam looks really good here against the Dallas Fuel, and same with Sleepy. I think if there was any type of rust for Sleepy, you know, not playing a lot for the Shock, you know, this year, and coming in towards the end of stage 2, is that he's looked very good in this match.
Look at this, Giannis turning it on now, went for the Earth Shatter, got stunned, uncovered the Transcendence. Dallas barely able to get to the payload, but they do. Here comes Closer from that backside, and it's a big boot descent. Giannis sprawling across the point. Now Dallas have a chance to get aggressive. Sansam is up behind though, and AKM needs his grab to stick. So he cannot stay too close to the enemy Diva, but he's not really given much room. He is able to connect with Giannis though. Is there follow-up? Yes, Corey, Giannis, Auto all fall, and now Sansam realizes, well, there's no reason to hang around.
Yeah, and I think if you're going to use a Transcendence aggressively, if you're the Justice, you got to be able to win those fights and pick up the kills as Closer. Fantastic movement on the Lucio, you know, he's done a nice job like making some big plays, you know, booping some players around, knocking them into certain areas. Sansam here, not able to rematch, so you'll have to wait for him.
That is a stall, a stagger.
Yeah, if you're going to use the Trance aggressively, you know, when they don't use grab, you got to win those fights, because AKM comes back, they use the grab, you're just getting free damage down there, nothing you can do to heal it up.
And his grab goes in. Unco has, in a few seconds, he'll actually have a Transcendence here, so I wouldn't be surprised, yeah, Dallas say, okay, that's fine. We kind of know what we're walking into here. Preemptive self-destruct. I like it! Sleepy take it down. And that's no good. The Justice use a grab, but they're already backing away, Matt. So even if they didn't lose Sleepy there, they wouldn't have been in position to follow up on that Graviton Surge because they were too busy running away from the self-destruct.
Yeah, and I mean, now with only a minute and 15 on the clock, you don't have that grab. So this is the issue you go into, is you start investing in some of these other ults, right? Like Sound Barrier, Rally, whatnot. You don't win the fight. You're looking at a final fight where you may just have like grab. So you have to at least hold on to like one of these support ults unless the fight looks really good in your favor. Closer has a Sound Barrier. It's the only support ult you have online here for the Dallas Fuel. So you still have this Shadow though from OGs. Landed a few big ones on this map as well.
Giannis always pushing forward, isn't he? Just trying to pressure and get in OG's head. Shatter, nothing from that one. Sometimes OG's just looking to make the play. They have another grab though, the Fuel. Washington Justice do not, but they have all the defensive ults. Oh! Sleepy had one of the aforementioned defensive ultimates, but he gets taken down by a Fire Strike. Another support down in Ardo. And there's no need to use the grab. You win the fight with nothing.
Mitch, 25 seconds on the clock. You have 4 ultimates, you only use 1. Like, you have to have an idea. You have some kind of ultimate advantage coming into that fight.
I am flabbergasted.
As now, they may get grabbed away from the cart and not get a use of any of these ults.
Yeah, they're going to have to send Arcade on his own, probably separate from the rest of the team, or someone to touch, and we'll see if they get there. Self-destruct goes in. They're trying to pave the way. Sansam forward, get nothing with it. Arc caught up inside the Graviton Surge, and charge there from OG. This is a point blank. Interesting.
Yeah, but you're going to be able to weather the storm here if you're the Dallas Fuel, because now you still have Sound Barrier, you have your Transcendence as well.
The Transcendence, just in case Corey gets a grab, which he might in the next few moments. Giannis goes for the Shatter. Nothing from that one either. Okay, it's Shatter Shield Day. I'm fine with it. But there's that Graviton Surge. OG going to be protected, though. The Transcendence was there. Giannis, well, he's living a dangerous game as the bomb comes down. But the Dallas Fuel, they were molded by this kind of chaos. This is where they thrive. And Sansam will have to go for a one-player stand on the payload. And yeah, it never works. Not even in the movies. The Dallas Fuel comfortably take away this series 3-0 with 1 draw in the mix, but they won't be too upset about that one. Washington, multiple elements of that squad were looking good. The Dallas Fuel just a bit better.
Yeah, as Dallas comes in, they really needed a win after that tough loss to the LA Gladiators the other day, where the Justice, they did look good at times. I think individual pieces look good. I thought Sleepy had a very good game today. I thought Sansam as well. I think you just need to get some better teamwork between these players. I think you have some talent here. You just got to get a little bit more time to let it gel.
It takes time, because while you're trying to really grasp some of the more fundamental aspects of playing that 3-3 style, the rest of your opponents are putting the finishing touches on, and they're moving on to new compositions, and they're adding to their arsenal. It's very difficult to catch up in the Overwatch League when you're behind. It takes a lot of extra work and extra grind to get there. Obviously notes 3K Bomb and Eichenwald there. Had that not been the case, things could have been a little bit different there. There might have been a chance actually for the Justice to sneak the series away. It would have come down to Havana. But here's your season standings following that match. The Fuel, they keep their heads above water, 10-6. They remain in that top flight slot.
They need that map differential, because Seoul Dynasty is sitting down in 8th. 9-7, 1 game behind. But look at that, plus 13 in the map differential compared to only plus
huge.
4. You need to keep this winning pace on for the Dallas Fuel to hold on to that 6th spot.
Yeah, you're right. Dynasty get themselves another map win, and they're right in the mix. Dallas with a very modest map differential despite their record, which means that a lot of those matches have been very hard fought. And the ones that they've won have not been, I guess, have been
really
close.
clean. Yeah, I mean, they've had some very close games to Dallas Fuel this far.
Let's have a look, and welcome you all, of course, to our Player of the Match, brought to you by Omen by HP. And this is a tough one, because a lot of members of the Dallas Fuel were doing work, but I think OG deserved it today. He got put under a lot of pressure constantly by Giannis, so he had to play a very safe game because he had to keep his team alive, while there was honestly a guy flying in his face like a bat out of hell every team fight.
I mean, this is like a OG getting the HE Player of the Match is like kind of giving like a team one, and the fact that they do such a great job just keeping him alive.
Yeah.
But I thought like he was a huge difference in terms of like how many Earth Shatters he was using and getting against the Washington Justice. I mean, look at the hero damage. I mean, over 40K. 26 final blows, 23 Earth Shatter stuns converted into the 10 kills. Really good game from OG today.
And look, honorable mention to AKM, obviously breaking records of average energy when it came to his performance on Eichenwald, which is impressive. Also means all he had to do was get shot a whole bunch, or make sure OG got shot, but you can't really complain about that. I think as a team effort, he'll be pleased. I know AKM, he won't be crowing about it, but he'll be satisfied. Coming up next though, what a match to finish off the week. The Vancouver Titans, Matt. They mentioned that they want to sacrifice the Gladiators to their winning streak. That is a quote from
them. Well, they're 15-0. I mean,
there is a riled up home crowd here, and the LA Gladiators are ready to strut their stuff against one of the top teams in the league. Stick around for that one. You do not want to go anywhere to finish off the week.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.